she's now getting thousands and thousands of DMs from angry fans because of how she was portrayed as being kind of like this leech, opportunistic, a bad
They need to take
friend.
the internet away from people.
Anna Delvey's former friend, Racheal Williams, is suing Netflix over the Inventing Anna depiction and specifically how they depicted her. Racheal Williams, she's one of the women that was scammed out of money by the fake heiress, and Delvey, and she's ready to have her day in court. According to court documents, William is suing Netflix for false light, invasion of privacy, and defamation for the way they depicted her in the series. And so what they're saying in the complaint is basically they used her actual legal name, which was a little unusual because they did not use the legal name
Right.
and actual biographical information about,
And
or
like
for other characters.
other characters,
They
they changed
did
them all.
for her. All right, so the reason why they had to file the lawsuit, they're saying, is because Netflix used Rachel's real name and biographical details and made her out to be this horrible person, which she is not. So her attorney, in fact, I saw an interview that her attorney did. He's going on talking about this has had devastating damage to, or done devastating damage to her reputation. She's now getting thousands and thousands of DMs from angry fans because of how she was portrayed as being kind of like this leech, opportunistic, a bad
They need to take
friend.
the internet away from people.
Well, but to her case and her point of just, I've been represented as this real person, I am this real person, they're saying all this stuff about me, but they are telling untruths. And her attorney is saying in the complaint they have 16 different instances in the show where the show,
It's taking liberties.
taken liberties. Now, there was a little disclaimer at the beginning of the show. It says, quote, this story is completely true except for the parts that are totally made up. Okay, so basically there's this little disclaimer at the beginning of the show, and we've talked about this when we've watched some rap music videos, right? So at the beginning they might say, if any police are listening to this, all the lyrics, everything that I say in this video is made up and can't be used against me. We've talked about when someone or company gives a disclaimer, does that have a legal effect?
Was it? I don't know if it was Young Thug. I feel like it was where they had a disclaimer, or Lil Durk video where they had a disclaimer at the video. It's just like, oh, this is just a song.
Yeah, so in the context of the question of, well, a disclaimer by Netflix saying the story is true except for the stuff that we made up, so basically don't take everything as truth, is that enough for them to survive a defamation claim? Because a defamation claim is saying that you willfully, or in this case with actual malice, intended to harm my reputation, right? So if I'm this person, and you made these statements falsely and with a reckless disregard for the truth, you knew that I'm not a horrible person. And in fact, I think she's even put out a book. She testified against Anna, so there's a lot kind of documenting what the real relationship was, and Netflix embellished quite a bit. When it comes to biopics, typically we're going to be doing what's called a life rights agreement with, the principal people. We want to make sure that we have permission to avoid lawsuits, for example, like this. So they actually did not have the rights to her story. And in fact, that's kind of hinted at in the complaint. So they're saying, well, Williams ended up optioning her life rights to HBO. Right, so Netflix's competitor. And so was this Netflix's kind of shady move because she didn't give them the rights?
I'll tell you what, that makes for a case. That makes for cause. And you're crazy if you don't think that writers are vindictive about things that they see going on, or not even just being mean about stuff and trying to hurt people. Like think of shows like Family Guy, think of shows like like South Park and stuff, where they're doing parody of people. It's like the writers have full control to kind of put whatever they want on the screen, whatever message. Also for the fun stuff. I'll see like Howard Stern references in TV shows because the writers are fans of like the Howard Stern shows, so they'll put little jabs, or they'll put little congratulations or shout outs and things. So my question is, what if she was saying that she was getting kind of harassed and maybe some threats or something like that?
Sure.
If something had taken action, one of these fans had taken action, and her excuse was, well, I watched this Netflix show and they portrayed her out to be this whatever, and I just I want it because people wow. these days. Wow.
Yeah, well, look, if she's obviously claiming that there's been a degree of emotional distress caused because she's getting these
Well,
harassing messages,
sure.
and it's a result of how she was inaccurately, to her complaint, inaccurately portrayed in the show. And I think that any resulting damage goes to that. So when the attorney was asked, well, to the damages, you didn't really claim an amount. And his response is, well, we're not quite there yet. That's going to be something that we have to determine at trial because
Yeah.
it's difficult, right? We saw this with the Johnny Depp, Amber Heard defamation case. These are very high standards. I mean, we've had lawsuits against Donald Trump, Sarah
Well, that's just,
Palin. We've
yeah,
had
no,
someone in the
that's what I'm
betrayal
saying.
of.
I was just thinking of like Alec Baldwin. And I'm just thinking, yeah. So I mean, Saturday Night Live and all these shows are kind of getting away with this stuff. Like, is the difference because they're trying to portray this as a true story?
Well,
Is
wait,
that
let
because of
me
the
finish
mixed
my thought though.
message?
So what I was saying is that as it relates to those lawsuits against those other people, they failed because it's such a high standard. Now,
Yeah.
going back to kind of what you're saying with, yeah, if there is, and there's two parts of this, right? There's the defamation claim and then there's false light in the alternative. So it's all just kind of going to basically you betrayed me in a way or portrayed me in a way, not betrayed me. You portrayed me in a way that was false. And that has resulted in damage. And I gotta be honest, when I kind of initially read this, I was thinking, well, if she had given Netflix the right
Right.
to her
Right.
life story,
Yeah.
then, unfortunately, that's what it says in the
That's what it
contract.
is. Yeah.
It's gonna say we have the right to portray you however we want, and you can't say anything, and you can't sue us later. But she
But
didn't,
right. Right.
and
So
that's the
now it's
big
like
piece here.
it's yeah, so now it's just like a defamation. Yeah, no, I hear it. I see it from both sides, but I also see from, hey man, I'm just trying to make an entertaining show, and you know what I mean? Like we can't be held by the rules of, I could just pull out every show that's supposed to have anything with some kind of factual. I'll pull out Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and we'll talk about Abraham Lincoln. You know what I mean? Like what do you want to do? So
Yeah, and
yeah,
the
no.
actress who played her even said that in an interview. She's like, I haven't even reached out and had a conversation with
Mm,
Williams,
mm,
because I understand that the writers have to make her interesting. Because think of like the dichotomy in the relationship that she has with Anna, right? So Anna is the villain. Right? She's the heiress or the pretend heiress who's taking advantage of people for their, to pay for her lavish lifestyle. But they need to make every villain not sympathetic, but you need to be able to connect with the character. And you can
right.
do that by having this counterpart. So Williams became the counterpart as kind of this like leechy.
Yeah, no, imagine the writing meeting. So they're trying to write this character and just like, the insult isn't we're defaming you. The insult is, yo, your life is so boring and you're so
Oh,
uninteresting that
jeez.
we can't change anybody else's characters that we've kind of cuz they're fine. You got nothing. You go to Starbucks every day, you come home and hang out with your cat and then like you get, like I got nothing. I got to put some Melrose Place in there.
Yeah. So look, if someone was portraying me in a way that I didn't like and made me look bad and was resulting in public scorn, and
Yeah.
people are now messaging me hateful things. Trust me,
That's a dangerous
I
thing.
would have a feeling about it for sure, and particularly because my understanding is that HBO holds an option to her life rights. Netflix doesn't. So Netflix, from what I understand, did not have free range just to go and write the character however they wanted.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see how something like that happens because something like that, if she does end up winning, something could set some kind of precedent for how people come after some of these kind of shows. They're like, hey, I was a waiter or a cab driver in this movie about this famous person. You portrayed me to be this real jerk guy or something like that, and now you know what I mean. Like if
But
it
that's
could open the
absolutely
door.
what goes into it, right? So if I write a movie and direct a movie and release a movie and it's featuring you, right? In some incidental kind of you were the boyfriend of someone at some time. I mean, no matter how I portray you, you're going to have an opinion about that and those publicity rights play into it. Everyone has publicity rights in how they are portrayed and whether they give permission to someone else to make money off of them. So there's a lot that goes into this. It's an interesting case.
I think I would just rather just see. I think a big thing too is just I would just like to see less internet trolls. Just in general, just leave characters alone from TV. Stop thinking they're the real people that are in movies when they're actors, or You know what I mean? Just start focusing on your own lives and get off the internet so much. Except for from every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Then we want you on the internet.
That's right. That's right. We want you right here. All right. So that's where we're going to hold off on that one for now. I think that Williams has a strong case from what I can see, and this is one that's going to continue for a little while.
Leave her alone.